Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had an amazing weekend so far. Today, we're going to do a little bit of a different video. We are going to do a Cardano video, but we're going to start in a different fashion. What I want to do in this video is really do a little bit of FUD busting. I'm going to look at some of the rumors that are circulating at the moment, and one big one that has come in wake of eToro delisting Cardano due to regulatory issues, as they state, is the fact that the SEC may be going after ADA. I'm going to be silencing this rumor because it is completely non-factual and there is not one scrap of evidence to suggest that this is the case. eToro, of course, delisted Cardano, and we're going to get into why the SEC. We're going to be playing one of Charles's clips. When eToro delisted Cardano, Charles came out and he gave a video called Liquidity and eToro, and he said very specifically, and I'm going to let you hear it from the horse's mouth, there is no regulatory pressure present at the moment, and this potentially isn't the reason why eToro delisted Cardano, and there's certainly no indication that the SEC is going after Cardano specifically. I'm going to be showing you the fact that Grayscale are actually a regulated institute, and their funds that they hold are reported to the SEC. And we know that Cardano, in actual fact, is the third largest Grayscale holding. Would that be the case if Grayscale thought there was going to be a regulatory storm in relation to ADA? And in actual fact, many things that Charles and the team at Cardano have done have been to somewhat get in line with the US regulations, like the fact that they can implement KYC if needed be in certain jurisdictions and on certain protocols. So it's complete nonsense. I really want to start. We are going to get into the charts, guys. I'm going to be taking a look at markets as a whole. We know that yesterday, essentially the entire markets sold off due to fears of a new variant. This has happened time and time again. And remember, often with these variants, they've turned out to not be as deadly as people have perhaps thought. And markets will see an epic recovery if that happens to be the case with this one. But we're not really speculating on that. We're going to look at a number of different things in relation to markets, but really where I want to start is with this tweet from ADOL. Getting many DMs saying Cardano negativity on Reddit/Twitter is at all-time highs. I see other crypto groups doing ritual victory dances around it on Twitter today. Of course they're going to be doing that. It's par for the course and I barely notice it anymore, but it feels especially concerted now as DeFi launches on ADA. Remember, this is around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a huge driver of the value of Cardano, and this is why there's such an attack. Cardano is a real threat to the smart contract game, and people who refuse to acknowledge that are in for a very rude awakening. I've never particularly bashed any other crypto. I may have pointed out certain things that I have issue with, but I've never bashed and wanted another crypto to not succeed. It just doesn't, that sort of negativity doesn't do anything for yourself or the crypto space as a whole. The way that I look at this is we're all in it together. Whether you're a Cardano fan like myself or a Solana fan, we need to come together and get this industry to where it needs to be. And we're so far from that goal, and we don't get there via fighting among ourselves. So I really don't understand it. A lot of it is just complete lies and garbage. There's been quite a few. The reason that I bring up the SEC and potentially them, or certainly the rumors of them saying that they're going to go after Cardano and it being complete nonsense, is there's been quite a few popular influencers that have suggested this based on literally nothing at all. And if you look at the coins that some of these influencers champion, such as Solana and others, there's a kind of answer that lies within that. So I just think there's no need for it. And we know that eToro, of course, did delist ADA. On the same day ADA got listed, or the day after ADA got listed on an exchange, Bitstamp, that had 10 times the volume of eToro, just to put that into perspective. And like I said, do you really think Grayscale would list, as they are a regulated institute, a coin that they thought was going to have a regulatory nightmare? I don't think they would, guys. And eToro saying, where is it? Due to business-related considerations in the evolving regulatory environment, that was the reason they delisted it. Remember that Cardano is actually being kind of given a green light by Japan. Japan is one of the biggest or most strict regulators when it comes to this sort of stuff, and Cardano got the green light there. That was something that was a very hard thing to get put through, but it was done. And you know, there's no real evidence to suggest that the SEC is, of course, going after Cardano, and also it's questionable whether it really was due to regulatory issues why eToro actually delisted them. So let's quickly play a clip from Charles, now that I've kind of squashed that rumour. Hear it from the horse's mouth, saying that there's been nothing that's been put forward to them that would suggest anything like this is around the corner. And then we'll get into a little bit of the charts, and I'll love and leave you to your Saturdays.
From our side, we're of course going to look a little bit into what exactly the reasons were. There's currently nothing we've received, no regulatory event, no subpoenas, no nothing from any regulatory agency, no threats of lawsuits, none of these things. And that's why we're so blindsided by it, because actually the trend has been over the last 6 months, a significant increase in the amount of liquidity of Cardano. Exchange after exchange and DEXs are listing ADA on a pretty regular cadence. And Bitstamp was a deeply personal one for me, because outside of Mt. Gox, it was the main exchange that I used way back in the day when I was trading Bitcoin. And so it was really nice to actually see it finally get there. You know, we tried when we were at Ethereum really hard to discuss Ethereum liquidity there, and they were kind of holdouts. They didn't like altcoins too much back in the day, but it's really amazing to see them open that up. And again, there's no issues on our side, no lingering things or other things like that. It's a complete surprise, but it doesn't surprise me from the perspective of these things happen. You know, everybody has a different compliance desk. Everybody has a different regulatory tolerance. Everybody has a different customer base. And sometimes the cost of supporting something is higher than the profit that you make for it. So you just kind of de-risk by removing people from certain areas or certain sets up. But we'll find out more, of course, as time materializes. And it, again, is important to understand that the foundation does have a role. They do have a budget. They do have people. My understanding is they're going to hire and staff up to almost 100.
We'll leave that there. I just thought that was important to play, certainly with such rumours circulating. So yeah, and I mean, that could potentially be why eToro did delist Cardano, due to the fact that, you know, maybe it wasn't that profitable for them, and they, instead of taking up that room with ADA, wanted to list another token. I think did they list Algorand and delist Cardano, something like that? I'm not 100% sure on that. But what I want to do now is jump into the charts very quickly before I wrap this video up. Everything is fine, guys. We're going to be switching it to a monthly time frame in just 1 second. You know, we're still largely dependent on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's obviously very affected by the kind of global financial conditioning at the moment, with obviously the new variant. FTSE's still massively down. Seeing a little bit of a buyback here, but nothing major. I mean, I think this was one of the most severe days the FTSE's seen since March 2020, when the kind of everything took a huge nosedive. So we don't even have March 2020 on this chart. I wonder which FTSE I'm looking at here. Yeah, you can see March 2020. I think this is one of the most severe days since then. DXY showing a little bit more strength. DXY could be in a macro kind of continuation to the upside pattern. But I think there is going to come a time where you see Bitcoin and the DXY go up together. We're just taking, you know, there's a lot going on in relation to markets as a whole. We've done plenty of videos covering this. Certainly we did a longer one yesterday. But we're going to have to see how this kind of all plays out over the coming days. I'm still as bullish on Cardano as I've ever been. It does look like this was the support that we gave you 2 days ago now, in relation to if we do continue to roll. Or $1.48 was actually the support. We didn't quite get down to there. As we said, this is going to be a real strong support. And really, in a macro sense, I know we're on a 4-hourly time frame, you've impulsed, you've broken your resistance here, and you've came back to test it for that continuation. And I absolutely do not believe we are going into a bear market yet, ladies and gentlemen. I still think this bull run is going to continue, and I think Cardano is very much a part of that. On a number of indicators, we've been screaming bullish for a while now, certainly with the fundamental reasons of what we've got coming around the corner with DeFi. And this, remember that Ethereum's DeFi space has more value locked in it than the entire market cap of Cardano. It just shows you, and of course ETH is, it's got quite a monopoly on things at the moment. People will typically build on ETH because they know it's the most used, and that will give their product exposure, etc., etc. But Cardano's, you know, it's a serious competitor. I actually got blocked from a very prominent figure in the CryptoSpace's Twitter due to having a disagreement with him that Ethereum, he essentially said that Ethereum has no competitors, and I very strongly disagreed with that. I think Ethereum has actually superior competitors, or certainly will, until they launch ETH2. So this is the monthly chart. Now I want to show you this for a reason. I'm always looking at charts in 1,000,001 different sort of directions. And can you see the last time we had these kind of 3 red candles forming? Are we in for the same thing that took place after? It's too early to really tell. You can't really tell a lot by the RSI and the monthly. Switch it down to the weekly. You know, things still look good. You're still in. People screaming for a bear market don't even understand basic technical analysis. This is an uptrending market with a low. We'll get rid of this for the time being, and we'll get rid of our trend line. Higher high, higher low, 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 continuation. You know, this is an uptrending market, and you shouldn't bet against the trend, ladies and gentlemen. So the people calling for a bear market, based on the fact that we've seen a sell-off that we've seen continuously within the crypto space, have no reason what they're talking about. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're almost as toxic as the people that are throwing shade on Cardano. And if, you know, the people that are showing shade, certainly the other projects out there and the other project backers that are throwing shade, it really speaks volumes about just how confident you are in your investment. You know, I've seen what the other side of the argument is, and I'm happy to be siding with ADA in this one, and I'm certainly still going to hodl. Remember, guys, we do have a stake pool for those of you who are looking to stake your Cardano. ALLIN is the ticker. Big, huge thank you to all the delegators, all the people in the Discord. There is a link to the Discord in the description. I think I'm going to love and leave you on that one, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturdays. I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Have a fantastic evening, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys.